We are in a pivotal time in history when taking a stand of solidarity with people who have been marginalized for hundreds of years in the United States can show us the Township of Allendale is progressing toward a more inclusive environment.
That statue has never offended anybody unless they wanted to be offended. An innate object cannot offend you. It is a decision you make. I challenge you, rise above the things that are offending you.
Thank you.
Become a part of this community.
There's an African American museum in Chicago that has a full depiction. There's an exhibit that you can walk through the chains rattling on the ship as our people came across. You can smell the urine on those people. It's a very intense exhibit, and I feel that if we were to put something like that in your park here, and you had to explain to your children who are not of color why there are people chained that smell like urine, that are screaming, that are not the same color as them, I feel like it would put things into perspective for you all.
The Civil War was part of the history of this nation and should continue to be represented as just that, American history. None of us have the right to change or delete some history that might be offensive. We are the land of the free and the home of the brave. This monument stands as a reminder that never should this kind of war be repeated.
In the 1890s, Southern cultural groups began to recreate the image of the Confederate South. They retold the story of the war, falsely portraying themselves as heroic defenders of Southern chivalry and states' rights. They represented this romanticized view by erecting statues of Confederate soldiers. At the same time, they also began to significantly downplay the heart of their movement, which was slavery and white supremacy. Telling the truth matters, and if this statue is supposed to represent a key moment in our history, then frankly, it's not doing its job. Like most Confederate statues, it represents the willful attempt to cover up and whitewash our history, and it continues to affirm the wishful thinking of those who want to believe racism is in the past.
But this is not about the statue. This is about people who want to bring about basically the revision or actually eradication of American history, because it doesn't suit their purposes. This is a skirmish in a much larger battle, and I would encourage the board not to appease. When you appease, you basically give a morsel to the adversary, and the adversary ends up becoming more hungry. If I get a little bit, I'm going to get more. So it's not going to stop if you appease in any way. So I would strongly state my opinion that the statute should remain as it is.
Thank you.